and we are singing, singing for our rights. We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our rights.
Bill! Kill the 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 bill!
Opponent, which is royal assent. So this is very important that you're all here today. I thank you that you're all here today. I thank the people from, yes, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and Strathmore. We have people traveling. So people from Calgary, including myself, your friends and family, we will have another event June 20th. Let's make sure they show up, because Calgarians have no excuse. It's in their home city. I get that you're working, but if you're not doing anything right now, you should be here. You should be defending your Charter of Rights. You should be making sure
Thank you to all of you who are here today. It is because of you that there is hope that we can one day live in a functioning democracy once again. We are here today because we are no longer the society that we were. We are here because this nation, whose citizenry prides itself on being a free and democratic nation, is on the road to becoming the very thing that we all fear. We are here because this once proud nation is under the threat of totalitarianism as one of our greatest legal safeguards is desecrated by Bill C-51. Our charter was added to the Constitution in order to guarantee the rights and freedoms as a fundamental part of our laws. As part of the Constitution, theoretically, it is something that no law should be able to undermine, but the fact is that it is currently under threat. But there has been some question as to where the threat actually comes from. Is ISIS the biggest threat to our democratic rights? No! Damn right! Is the government the biggest threat to our democratic rights? Yes! I actually disagree. I think that the biggest threat to our rights is something that we've overlooked. What if I told you that your neighbor is the biggest threat to our freedom? I'm surprised. Some people actually agree with me. I thought you were all going to look at me like a crazy person. Anyway, it's this bill. Or worse yet, they buy the propaganda. The police in this country, as have been proven by multiple terrorism arrests just this week alone, have more than the tools needed to deal with terrorism, and there's no need to violate our rights over it. I am a firm believer in the right and responsibility to defend ourselves without outside help. Unlike our Prime Minister, who when threatened with danger, decided the best thing he could do was hide in a closet until two good men were dead! Is this who you want leading our nation? No! Me neither. If that is how he responds to danger, it is hardly a wonder that his entire political platform is based on fear-mongering. I say that courage is the answer to danger. Hear, hear. I say that when our freedom is holy crap, that's a tongue twister. I say that when our freedom is threatened, you stand up for it or you never deserved it in the first place.
Good afternoon. My name is Candace, and I have the privilege to tell you about our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Our beloved Charter protected our rights, promoted equality, and celebrated our differences. Our Charter held our laws to a very high ethical and moral standards. It carefully balanced our individual rights against the power of the government and deliberately set a high bar for when appropriate for an individual's rights to be secondary to the government's. The Charter was beautiful, and our legal system had made it so that it was like a living tree, and it could evolve over time so that its interpretation could always be rational, balanced, and progressive. The Charter guaranteed certain political rights to Canadian citizens and civil rights to everyone, to unify Canadians around a set of principles that embodied those rights. Charter was adopted, it was greatly expanded the scope of judicial review, and it was explicit in respect to the guaranteed rights and the role of judges in enforcing them. The Charter was gracious in allowing us our privacy in our activities and only applied to government laws and actions, including federal, provincial, municipal governments, public school boards, and occasionally to common law. The Charter helped to regulate interactions between the different levels of government and individuals. Most importantly, our Charter rendered invalid or inoperative any laws that were inconsistent with its provisions. Human rights in Canada owe much to the Charter for promoting and protecting them, as it did with language rights, reinforcing the rights of official language minorities. Equality rights were recognized and enforced under its watch for minority and disadvantaged groups. Oh, wait a second. The Charter even clarified government the freedom of conscience, the freedom of religion, the freedom of thought, freedom of belief, freedom of expression, freedom of the press and other media of communication, freedom of peaceful assembly like we're doing here today, freedom of association, and it included our democratic rights in Section 3, the right to participate in political activities, the right to a democratic form of government, the right to vote, and the right to be eligible to serve as a member of the legislature. It ensured mobility rights under Section 6, the right of Canadian citizens, and to a lesser extent, permanent residents, to enter and leave Canada, the right to move to and take up residence in any province or territory, or to reside outside of Canada. Our legal rights, the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. Section 7, freedom from unreasonable search and seizure under Section 8, freedom from arbitrary detention or imprisonment, Section 9, right to legal counsel and the guarantee of habeas corpus, which means a court petition which orders that a person being detained is produced before a judge for a hearing to decide whether the detention is lawful. That's under Section 10. Rights in criminal and penal matters under Section 11, such as the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Right to not be subject to cruel and unusual punishment in Section 12. The rights against self-incrimination, Section 13. The rights to an interpreter in court proceedings. Equality rights. Equal treatment before and under the law. Equal protection and benefit of the law without discrimination. As you can see, the Charter was both an active supporter and a defender of our human rights and freedoms. I wasn't aware of how important it was until Bill C-51 threatened it, and I encourage everyone here to learn more about our Charter and see how Bill C-51 will affect our rights. Thank you.
Like that. I have a right to say I don't like that. So I am again going to thank you all today for standing up for your rights. We're going to march in a minute here. We just have a few more things. We have Mark that's going to come up and talk about what the Charter has done for us.
Proud, a beacon of freedom and equality, many men and women risked life and limb just to get a taste of, and in one fell swoop you were taken from us. A life lost tragically and cut far too short. You served so many so well, never asking for anything in return, always standing up for the little guy and making sure all the people had a voice and the protection to use it and express ourselves how we saw fit. It pains me to know how much these corporate crooks have desecrated you, and for the poor souls who never knew just how much you cared and weren't able to show their appreciation for all the amazing rights you granted us. They say a person is never forgotten as never truly lost to us as long as we keep their memory alive and tell their stories. We cannot allow fear a foothold and must never be silent in issues that affect our natural human liberties and freedoms. As long as the sun rises, we will strive to live our lives in such a way that the memory of the rights we had will never fade. We will continue to live and express ourselves freely with no concern of unjust retribution. So long as we have community, our rights will never be infringed, and our charter will continue to shine in the hearts, minds, and spirit of every man, woman, and child gathered here today, standing brave, saying, "You will never be forgotten." They will take our pensions, they will take our health care, they will take our education, they will take our charter, but they will never take our freedom!
There is a dark, secluded place where you can vanish with no trace. Charters of rights they will erase. Now Bill C-51 has come, we're done. They love your phone and TV set. They monitor you on the net. And though you've nothing to regret, you're watched by C-system, don't you know? Oh, they Prime Minister so sinister, he's got to go. But if they pass this bill that we are singing of, you won't be free to disagree or call a plea. They call our Steve Calgarian. He sure ain't libertarian. He's so authoritarian. Time for a hex on this T-Rex right now. Justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our rights. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our rights. We are citizens together. We are citizens together, and we are singing for our rights. We are citizens together, and we are singing for our rights. We are a land of many colors. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our rights. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our rights. We are gay and straight together. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our rights. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our rights. We are gentle, loving people. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing